Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of our PhD program for the next academic year, 2024-2025. I'm Enrico Rettore. I'm the chairman of this program, and I'm going through some slides to provide you a general view of what is going on. And some colleagues, starting from Michele Fabrizi, which is the deputy director of this program, will help me to provide details. By the end of this presentation, we shall have a couple of former students of the program telling us some stories, their experience within the program. And the final part of this presentation will be a question from your side, request of clarification, and where possible, our answer. So first of all, who we are. So this is the University of Padua, which is one of the ancient university, not only in Italy, it is also within Europe. It is established since 1222, so approximately 800 years ago. And here you have a pic of the taken from the central building of our university, not far from where we are talking now. Padua is a big university, more than 60,000 students enrolled by now. And we have all over the disciplines, we have more than 1,000 PhD candidates, 2,200 the academic staff all over the university, of course, not specifically of our department. So here is where Padua is with respect to the world. So there's Italy just in the middle of this peak, and Padua is in the northeast corner of Italy, not far from the border to Slovenia to the east and to Austria to the north. As I told you, it is an ancient city, and here we have a few pics to document the historical heritage of the city, starting from the Basilica del Santo, Saint Anthony, which presumably you heard about, which is one of the most popular saints all over the world. Here is the main peak from the Prato della Valle. It is the center square of the city. And here is the small square where the main historical building of the university is, just in front of the municipality building and of the Caffè Pedrocchi. Not far from here, let's say 200 meters, no more than that, there's the historical building, the Palazzo della Ragione. Okay, so what about research? So ANVUR is the National Agency for the Evaluation of the Quality of Research, running a review of what the universities, the scientific departments within the university do in terms of their research. And according to this agency, we rank among the best economics and management departments in Italy, taking into account both the quality of teaching and the quality of research. We got special funding due to this excellence in research, special funding for the second time in a row over the last 6-7 years or something like that. We also rank among the top 250 universities all over the world according to the Times Higher Education ranking. About the PhD program, it is a 4-year program, fully with this year, 5 fully funded positions. The PhD students are members of the department, and they live together from side by side with the faculty, with the other members of the department, and regularly take part in the life of the department, the everyday life of the department. We have two curricula. The first one is in economics, the second one is in management. So there are some general rules shared by the two curricula, but of course then the teaching, the specific topics on which students in economics and students in management work on are, as you can imagine, different. So what about our former PhD students, those graduating over the last 5-7 years, say, where they are mostly, but not only, working in academia. Here is, you see in this slide, a list of universities, both in Europe and outside of Europe, where they are working by now. But of course, they are also working in some international institutions, as well as in the private sector. World Bank, OECD, and the IBM, Moody's, and so on. General overview of how the program is structured. So the first year of the 4-year program is fully devoted to coursework, split in 3 terms, running from November 2024 to the May, June of the next year. There are 9 different courses, with each one with its exam by the end of the course. After that, you are expected, people entering the program are expected to develop the so-called sum paper. This is a research paper in which PhD students start working at their research program, which they will develop over the subsequent 3 years. This is when we are talking about the late spring, summer of the May of the next calendar year, 2025. This is when students select their PhD supervisory team, which is typically made up of two persons, one main supervisor and a second co-supervisor, watching over him, over her, all over the development of the research program. So over the second, third, and fourth year, the 3 final years of the program, the PhD students, they develop their own research project. They are expected to spend a period, typically 3 months, not less than 3 months, visiting a foreign university in Europe or even in the North America. They are expected to actively participate into the departmental seminar series, economics and management. And finally, in the final part of the program, typically, but not only the 4th year, they can also have some teaching experience. Teaching, assisting the main instructor in teaching at the bachelor level and at the master level. No need to say PhD students take part in conferences, workshops, summer schools. All they need to complete their project to the final dissertation. Okay, so this is where some of our students visited in the last over the last years, the foreign institutions I mentioned before. Requirements, duties. So I told you that all the courses during the first year, they have an exam by the end, and of course students have to pass this exam. So the standard we have in mind is that in the end, they should have an average grade around B. So where A is the top grade and D is the lowest grade. Below D, there is only failure. And the students, they should have at most 1 retake for each of these exams. And second point, to be admitted to the second year, they should receive a positive evaluation of the summer paper. So the students, they submit their summer paper by late August, beginning of September, and then they present it to the board of the program and receiving feedback and, of course, an evaluation of what they did during the second and third and fourth year. To be admitted to the next year, they should receive a positive evaluation of the research activities they developed during the year. And finally, there is the admission to the doctoral defense. The doctoral defense takes place in front of a committee, a special committee nominated to discuss with the doctoral students what they did all over the 4 year of the program. Call for application. So they will be published tomorrow, and you will find all the details at the link you find here. And please strictly follow the rules described in this call for application. So the application, in particular, the application must be submitted online. Please do not send any copy of your application by email. The documents you are expected to include in your application package is pretty simple. So first of all, your curriculum vitae, a description of your research proposal, what you would like to work on during the program, the degree certificates. Remember that you must have a valid master degree as a prerequisite to enter the PhD program. Proof of your English competence. This is, again, a prerequisite. Remember that everything within the program takes place in English. So proficiency in English is, of course, highly requested. Otherwise, there's no way to work together. You also have the option to include 2 letters of recommendation. By the way, the 2 letters of recommendations must be sent by your the person you nominate to recommend you. If you have any scientific publication, that's great. So include them in your application package. And finally, even if it is not mandatory, if you are able to have a GRE, it helps a lot, of course. Okay. Could you please switch off your microphone? So the scholarship, so it is approximately 1,350 euros per month, all over the 4 years of the program. So the PhD students have access to an office within our department and support for their needs, the IT needs. There is some accommodation provided by the university, but you remember that they are in high demand. So please be super fast to apply for this position in the university residence. Otherwise, you have to switch to the private market. And remember that since there are lots of, as I told you before, there are lots of students of the University in Padua, the private market is running very fast. So please take care of it as soon as you can. Do not expect too much. And finally, there is canteen, the university canteen available during the semesters. The PhD office, the university PhD office can help you to get the visa and all the to manage all the immigration bureaucracy. Description of the 2 curricula. So here, Michele maybe is providing help to me to illustrate what happens within the management curriculum.
Okay, so thank you, Enrico, and welcome also from my side. I'm Michele Fabrizi, Associate Professor of Corporate Finance, and I'm in charge of managing the curriculum track, the management curriculum track. So as Enrico said, our program is a program in economics and management. We share the same value, the same rules. And so as regard the teaching, we have two different teaching track with specific courses, because clearly doing research in management is different than doing research in economics. Yeah, our department, when we talk about management, we refer to the whole field of the business domain. So mainly strategy, organization, accounting, and corporate finance. Clearly, we don't have enough students to provide you with a specific curriculum on each of these fields. So all the business courses are taken together. But we believe that is also a very strong point because this allows you to have a first overview of the different research topics in all this domain. And then at the end of these teaching modules, you can choose your field of specialization. So this also gives you some degree of freedom, apart from exposing you to a broad array of research topics. So classes will start this year in November, and you will take three courses. The course in research methods, in which you will be exposed to the different research techniques in business. Business, again, is a quite heterogeneous field. So you can use a quantitative method, or you can use qualitative approaches. And so this course will expose you to the key pros and cons of each research method to equip you with the right approach to enter the specific method. Next, you will have a course in corporate governance, in which you will be exposed to the key topic in governance, which span both more accounting and also strategy domain, and also will guide you to how to interpret, evaluate the research findings. And then you will have an important quantitative course, Econometrics for Management, in which you will discuss a number of techniques to run econometric analysis. Next, in the second term, from January to March, you will be exposed to three field courses, okay? One in organization, one in financial accounting, and one in strategic management. Again, clearly, these are courses at a PhD level. So when you read organization theories or financial accounting, you don't have to think to your master courses in this topic. But here, the instructor will help you to analyzing the key research findings in this area, okay? Organization, accounting, and strategy. To allow you to know what does it mean to do research in these three broad area. Finally, in the third term, from April to May, you will take two other field courses, advanced topics in management, in which you will dig into specific current topics in management, and also innovation management. Next, you have the course in tools in accounting and finance, which is a more technical tools in which you will boost your skill in doing an archival empirical research. So overall, this is, let's say, the menu for those of you which are interested in taking a PhD in the management curriculum. As I told you, our department is a broad department, and we cover mainly all the field of business. If we want to simplify, we have two broad domains, one in accounting and finance, another in strategy and organization. The key topic on which the colleagues at the department work on are the one you can see here in the slide. So corporate governance, then we have specific fields on economics of criminal firms, then we work on financial information, on regulation. We work a lot on non-financial disclosures. Colleagues in strategy and organization work on cluster evolution, on internationalization, entrepreneurship, a lot of environmental sustainability, on innovation, okay, technologies transfer, then all the area on organization, jobs, corporate resilience, and clearly also on supply chain and organizational routines. Clearly, these are just to mention few research domain. If you are curious, if you seriously intend to join us, I suggest you to search our website to see where professor in our department work on. Again, Enrico already gave you a broad overview of the positioning of our department at the research level, because I mean, we want you also to have an objective view. So it's not that we say that we are good, but we have agency and rating agency which tell us that, I mean, the type of research we're doing here is quite good. Here, just again to this point, we put the key journals in which the faculty of management publish over the last years. Some of you, which are already some experience on research, may recognize most of the most reputable journals in the domain. And it's just to say that if you will join this program, for sure you will have the opportunity to work, to be supervised by scholars who have been able to publish in the best international journals. Okay, so this was for the management curriculum, and now I give the floor back to Enrico for the economics track.
Okay, economics curriculum. So the organization of the first year is broadly speaking the same as for management, so three terms. The first and second term are compulsory courses. Game theory, microeconomics, and macroeconomics in the first term. This is provided jointly with the doctoral program in Verona, which is a city not far from Padua. In the second term, there is econometrics, microeconomics 2, and macroeconomics 2 here in Padua. While in the third term, there are a menu of optional courses, and students are expected to select 3 courses out of this list. So for the coming year, the list includes this is not an exhaustive list, but just to give you an idea, there's a course in microeconometrics, one on human capital, political economy, and tools in applied economics. And finally, there is a short course on job market orientation, what to do after the program, how to manage your career after completing the PhD program. So the research areas for economics, I mean, there is a wide variety of different topics, from aging, health, consumer behavior, policy evaluation, labor, education economics, applied and political economy, with a particular emphasis, I should add, on measuring the causal effect of intervention, of public intervention in the domains listed here. And then from to that, more on the theory of economics. There are people working on political economy, matching theory, experimental economics, trade and international trade, economic history, regional and urban economics, macro and monetary economics, IO, energy and environmental economics is one of the fields on which the department is investing a lot. Healthcare economics, the theory of auction and experiment, procurements, banking and financial markets. And even here we have a list of most reputed journals on which the faculty has published in recent year. And well, I mean, maybe you have a bit of acquaintance with at least the most important of these journals, but American Economic Review, Review of Economic Studies, Journal of the European Economic Association, Journal of Labor Economics, Journal of Development Economics are among the most reputed journals, even either general economics or in specific fields. I'm not reading through all the whole list, but you can have a look by yourself. Okay, so we can move to the stories of a couple of our former students. Federico is already here with us, while Nadia should join us in a couple of minutes. So I would give voice to Federico. Federico, please, if you want to briefly introduce yourself and tell the audience what your experience has been in this program.
Yes, of course.
Please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Federico Longhin, and I am a recently graduated PhD student in economics and management from the University of Padua. So first, let me thank the professor for inviting me today. I hope that my experience will be useful to some of you. So the first question that may interest you is why did I choose to become a PhD student in Padua back in the day? The answer is quite simple. During the last months of my master's degree in economics and finance, while I was writing my thesis, it became clear to me that I wanted to pursue a career in the research and development, but I hadn't yet decided if staying in academia or in the industry. So, as you may know, working in R&D requires very specific knowledge and skills about the topic you deal with. So you must be really an expert of a specific subject to pursue a career like this one. Unfortunately, after my master's degree, I didn't master at the top level the skills that were necessary to pursue a career in research. So I did not get job offers that satisfy my career desire. Therefore, I realized that a PhD degree was needed to fill this gap of competencies that affected me at those times. So before starting the PhD, I was even granted with a research scholarship from the department that convinced me even further that doing research was the activity that I really liked the most. Thus, when the scholarship ended, I decided to apply for a PhD position in Padua in order first to give continuity to the research project that I started during the scholarship, but also because the PhD program of the Department of Economics and Management in Padua and the courses that were presented were really intriguing and interesting to me. During the first year of my PhD, I had the opportunity to attend very interesting courses that provided me with a really strong theoretical foundation, both at an economic, both at a managerial level, giving me the opportunity to choose what specific area of expertise I would like to deepen and become an expert about during the following years of the PhD program. So after finishing the courses period, I had the opportunity to deepen the topics that I liked the most and to work finally on my thesis. For example, in my specific case, I have always been interested in data analysis and artificial intelligence applied to finance and accounting. Thus, during my PhD, I had the opportunity to study and follow also specific courses provided even from other universities, mainly computer science or data science departments, that allowed me to become an expert in this topic and become proficient in the use of statistical softwares like Python or R. Parallelly, in Padua, I had the opportunity to acquire a strong theoretical foundation about the accounting theory. So, during the PhD, during the years of the PhD, I also had the opportunity to reach great achievements. For example, my PhD thesis was granted with the prize as the best PhD thesis in business administration for the year 2022 by the Italian Academia of Business Administration. And I also had the opportunity to get the first chapter of my PhD thesis published in an international scientific journal before the end of my PhD. Lastly, an econometric algorithm that was developed as part of my PhD thesis is currently commercialized in the market. These achievements wouldn't have been possible without a great environment and without a really great supervisory team. To conclude, let me spend a few words on my experience on the job market. Thanks to the competencies that I have acquired during the PhD period, at the end of my PhD, I received a lot of job offers, both from the academic side, both from the industry, specifically from banks and fintech companies, provided that my personal attitude is towards applied research. I decided to become a practitioner and pursue a career in the industry. And I now work as a quantitative economist in a fintech startup, where I supervise the research and development side with a specific focus on the development of new econometric models. And my advice, if you want to pursue a career outside academia, is to go in a context where the research and development is the core business. So you can spend the knowledge you have acquired during the PhD in the best way that is possible. So to conclude, what I can say is that having a PhD is not an easy journey, because you have exams, you have courses, you have your thesis, but at the end, I can say that it is really worth it. So thank you for your time, and please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Thanks, Federico. Nadia, are you with us? Yes.
Hello.
Buongiorno, Nadia. How are you?
Buongiorno. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Thanks.
Please, even to you, briefly introduce yourself and then tell the audience your story, please.
Okay. So my name is Nadia Matsiuk, and I finished my PhD at the University of Padua at the Department of Economics and Management last year. So it's been a year since I finished the PhD. Now I'm a postdoctoral researcher, so I continued my academic career, and I would like to share my PhD experience with you. So first of all, my background. Before starting the PhD program, I studied basically in 2 countries. My bachelor's is from Ukraine, where I'm originally from, and my master's is from South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea, Seoul National University. So my specialization was international economics, and in Korea it was still international commerce. essentially, during my master's, I was already thinking of pursuing the PhD, but I had some personal reasons why I couldn't stay in Korea, and I had to move back to Europe. So basically, I worked in the private sector for several years. I worked in the sector of international commerce. I was the export manager, but I always knew that I would go for a PhD sooner or later. Like it's more like a vocation thing. I still felt like I have something I didn't tell yet, something I didn't contribute yet to the science. And eventually I tried several applications to several universities in Italy. Again, in Italy for personal reasons, because I had to live in Italy, like my husband is Italian and we were met in Korea, in Asia. So let's say that the reasons were almost, I would say, random. But I never regretted it. I never regretted this decision because the PhD experience I had was overwhelmingly positive. So I will tell you the reasons for that. So first of all, the faculty. This is extremely professional faculty and very accomplished. So I know with what to compare, because also my postdoc was in Canada, in McGill University and HEC Montreal. And I'm comparing with a university, a top university in North America and the top university in South Korea. And I have to tell you that the qualifications of the faculty in Padua beats two of these places, for real. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's highly competitive. People with whom I worked, are published in top journals in their fields, and are extremely well known abroad. So let's say in Canada, people know what University of Padua is, because the scientists, the research staff from the University of Padua is well known. Like, especially in my field. My field now is more like regional economics and international economics and historical economics. And so the brand of the university, due to the expertise of the faculty, is really well known abroad. So that's the first thing. Why my experience was positive, because like the investment of time and effort that I put into the PhD program, it also got like an additional return in terms of the name of the university. The second feature of the PhD program, which I found to be very useful as a person who wants to continue academic career, is the fact that I was exposed to teaching. I had several opportunities for teaching pre-courses. I had an opportunity to teach mathematics. I had the opportunity to teach, of course, microeconomics and economics, and even some courses of industrial organization. So like a wide variety of courses. And for me, this was like a test, whether I want to continue teaching, I want to continue this academic career or not, because you have to try it. You have to try teaching at the university level in order to understand whether you are good at it, whether the students appreciate you, what it takes to prepare. First of all, I realized how much the professors prepare for their courses, so that's not an easy task. But this was a very important moment personally for me. And for me, the answer was yes. I feel like this is a very fulfilling job and I'm up to the challenge. And the third thing, I think I will repeat what Federico told before me, is the fact that there is really nice communication between departments. So if you want to pursue a project which is interdisciplinary, let's say you need to use geographical information systems because you want to work with maps. It's really your supervisors will definitely have contacts with people from other departments. You can go to the Department of Geography and you will have somebody to help you with that. That's what happened in my case. I also interacted with people from the Department of Mathematics because I had to use cloud computing. I had like lots of data, so they gave me access to the supercomputer, let's say. And they would always follow me. Like the fact that I'm a student from a different department was never a problem. So it's like an interdepartmental teamwork. And you will appreciate it eventually if you want to do interdisciplinary projects. And the last thing to conclude is the fact that when I was looking for a postdoc, basically I got the interviews in all the places I applied for, and I think 50% it's a CV, what you managed to do during your PhD, publications, also it's your participation in the conferences, but 50% it must be the name of the university. And this university has a really like prominent and international name. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Nadia. Let me thank all of you for showing up at this presentation of our program, and have your way with the application, and good luck.